going on. This will keep happening and happening. It's never going to end. My dad is going to be homeless with nothing because of all the court fees. Like, she is not doing anything to help my dad. She is harming him. And I mean, I'm just at a point where I'm prepared to call the hospital for 9:45 is what they just told me here. She's not well.
I mean, is she just trying to get at his
Listen to this part.
assets or what?
She has already, when she got that power of attorney in 2020, she robbed my dad. Every penny he's ever made was gone. His retirement, every savings, Tapwat's money, everything was gone when she got that power of attorney. The only thing left is his properties and Tapwat, and that's it. And she is like does not want me to sell any of those houses because in the will she gets the houses and in the will I get the restaurant. So she wanted to sell the restaurant, and keep these houses. Now she's angry at me. She thinks I'm playing a game with her because I'm selling one of the houses. So to her, this is all fake. Like, she enjoys this stuff. And I absolutely hate it.
So who took the
Rick. She was there with Rick when.
Right. Did Rick ever try and run over your father?
Not ever would he ever do that. No, he did not do that.
I understand, and I even asked. I go, next time if someone takes your vehicle and your husband almost gets ran over, when the officer responds, that's pretty pertinent information that we'd like to know about. And
yeah, exactly.
They didn't tell us that, so.
What happens when somebody files like false reports? Like, I mean,
they can get arrested.
Like, does she have to go in and actually write the paperwork out to get arrested for that? Or, like,
so we didn't really entertain that because we're just doing the informational report saying that, but like we're not gonna sit there and because
I understand.
To me, it's suspicious when you have an officer there and say, "Well, I almost." Like, you would think you would say, hey, I almost got ran over. Like, I don't know, that's pretty important information.
It's like when I had Dad in my care over at Rick Faulkner's house. She would call for wellness checks on him, and she would say things like I was strung out on drugs and abducted him, or she would say things like I'd had some kind of like mental health crisis and she was worried about both of our safety. And one time she called and she said that I was abusing after you guys told her that she couldn't keep calling these well checks. Stop. It's like, we don't need to be doing this. He's fine.
Yeah, we went over there, I don't know how many times.
Then she called and said that I was abusing him because I got a phone call from somebody and they are like, okay, well, we heard that you've been hurting your dad, so we have to come check on him now. And it's like, all these things she's lying to the police over and over and over and over again.
Yeah, What's your dad's date of birth?
5/24/40.
5.
The subject wasn't home. She's currently working at Walmart in Lakewood until 8 o'clock.
What officers am I speaking to right now?
Officer Swan.
And Officer Liuzzo.
Liuzzo?
Yeah.
Okay.
Number out here.
So why is your father supposed to be staying with you?
No, as his guardian, I decided he was in my care for that long period of time for about 6 months.
Yeah, I remember that.
And there was an episode that I don't really want to go into all the details, but it was an assault, and it was an assault, and I couldn't take care of him because of the condition I was in. So my sister and Rick, they took him back down to 9 Forest Park because that's where he wants to be. He's got Alzheimer's disease. He wants familiarity to feel safe, and so like my goal through all of this has been to get him out of the house and me to be in there caring for my dad. And it's sad that he's there right now, but I've been looking at facilities and hoping that eventually Kim just will get put in an institution or in jail or something like that so I can go live with my dad in his home. I don't want to institutionalize him, but I don't know if I have any other options.
Right.
Well, what's your date of birth, Amber? And where do you live? On Prospect?
Yes, sir. 222.
They've been able to
222.
contact through a window tour. If you want to continue those, assess whether or not you think there's going to be a need for EMS, they weren't sure.
I don't know, his... It's getting out of hand how many times we go over there.
I understand.
And
In the beginning, I had to call for a peace officer every time I went over there.
I understand that part, but like the fact this here with her.
Right. She's gonna continue making these accusations and expecting you guys to come do stuff because there's nothing she can do. She has no control. She calls the police to try and feel like she does. But when I call for a peace officer, that's because Kim has had me arrested on false charges in the past. She had me arrested, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 years ago or something like that, and I spent the night in jail because of the story she made up. I decided from now on, if I have to have any contact with her to go try and help Dad, I should bring a peace officer with me. And I stopped doing that for a while, and it was going fine, but then she started calling the cops every time I'd come over. She wouldn't let me see my dad, and then she'd call the cops.
Yeah. How long has your dad had dementia?
This has been going on for, it's been obvious for about 5 years. It's progressing really quickly, and in 2020, when she was exploiting him, she wasn't giving him his medication, his Alzheimer's medication, or his heart medication. But the Alzheimer's medication would have slowed down this progression. And now with all of this stuff happening, I try so hard to not have my dad see the chaos. I don't want him to see it, I just want it to be over so that his brain can just relax, I know it's so sad. It's so sad. So sad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's... Is it Richard or is it Rick?
Rick.
It's Rick.
Yeah. Rick is a good guy. He connected with my dad. The two of them are very similar.
Well, I was gonna say he stayed with him for however
We've
long.
been up to 199 Benedict a bunch, and everything was fine every time.
Yeah. I mean, it's great there. It was perfect. That was the perfect location. But this family, you can't expect this family to take in my dad, me, and my sister to help care for my dad.
Right.
5.5, almost 6 months we were there. It's like we didn't expect it to be that long. So.
Do you know how long this legal battle is going to go on for?
Or is it done?
Feels like forever, man. It's right now, we have multiple things in court right now. We have there's a contempt charge coming up, as well as the injunction, the injunction that was filed because she keeps taking rent money from these people, and she's interfering with me doing my duties as dad's guardian.
Right.
And then there's also the big thing that's coming out. This is the one where she might get spanked. It's like, this is the fiduciary charge because of how she got that power of attorney was wrong. That was not okay how she did that. Dad had a diagnosis already at that point. She was hiding it. And then what she did with that, I've built this case, man, for the last 6 months. And this breach of fiduciary is going to get her because she's done some bad things.
Right.
So that's coming up. I don't know. She fired her lawyer by a text message, so she might be representing herself for this.
Oh, so Webb's not her attorney?
No. She had Paul Webb. He stopped answering her when he found out that Dad had a diagnosis. When he let her get power of attorney, he stopped answering her. And then she went and got a new attorney, which was Tom Rankin. And then she fired Tom Rankin by text because she didn't like the fact that the things he was telling her she had to do. So
right.
Now she doesn't have any representation, and she's got this hearing coming up after coercing my dad in front of a Supreme Court judge at the last one.
Yeah.
It's going to be a video one. So there's lots of stuff still going on in court, and it feels like it's never going to end. So. The perfect ending here, I'm gonna have like this one moment pity party, okay? So, my parents, this is not fair, because both of my parents are very sick. And like the perfect ending to this for me would be him to be in an institution and maybe get better, and me taking care of Dad. But it's like, this is not a perfect world where I can just make that happen. So.
Yeah.
Okay, my pity party's over. Sorry about that.
It's okay. I get it. You gotta vent about this stuff. I mean, it's a lot. And it's just nonstop dealing with us, and just, it's not fun. It's not.
I mean, this is like a full-time job for me. Like, I start first thing in the morning and I go all night. Last night I was up until 5 o'clock working on things. It's like, I'm not getting paid for any of this. That's okay, because I know I'm doing the right thing. That's all that matters. Like, that I'm helping my dad. But it is me by myself without support of any family. Like, it's draining. It's exhausting. I just keep being honest. I'm an open book to anybody during all of this, you know?
Yeah. Alright, well, we'll let you go. I hope you enjoy the rest of your night, if you can.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you, you too.
Yep. Have a good night. What is she doing?
Checking someone on the bridge or something.